Welcome to What the Art Podcast episode 3, where we talk about artsy stuff, where three artists, one random dude come together and talk about some art and creative stuff. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how we're going to make money, or how artists can make money from their art and creative stuff. And we have Sri, Aditya and Keshav here, along with me, Gokul, hosting this podcast. And let's all give a quick intro on what we've been up to in the past couple of weeks. And yeah.
So anyways, I'm Keshav. People call me Kesh or Kesh. I have no clue at this point. And I'm doing good. How are you guys? What's up with y'all? Shri, Adi?
I'm good. I've been good and never been better. And I've been working my ass off since few weeks. And it's been a while since we had a recording as well.
Yeah.
So looking forward for this episode. This is indeed an interesting episode.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I think it's something that a lot of artists and upcoming artists can relate to. I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
We have another person who's like literally listening to the podcast right now. She won't be joining us or talking to us, but yeah, she's going to be there.
So yeah, we've been doing good. So thanks a lot for all your support, your feedbacks, your comments and likes and stuff. And so let's get into the topic where we're going to talk about how artists make money by doing creative stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so see, since all three of you guys are full-time artists, right? So I want to throw this question to you guys and start this topic off. When and how and why did you guys start making money?
Okay.
Aditya, first.
What is that? What was it?
When, how and why
got that.
did you start making money?
Right.
I think the earliest I started making money with my art was 2014. 2013 was my first time actually bringing my art or my work out into the public. That was when I had exhibited at Hyderabad's first Comic-Con. That's incidentally when I met Shri also for the first time. And seeing the success of that, I thought, and a lot of people had told me earlier, why not capitalize on this? There are people who genuinely appreciate your work and want to buy your work. And I hadn't considered it up until that point, but then after seeing the success of Comic-Con and seeing that, realizing that, I could actually have a knack for this, the very next year for the 2014 Comic-Con was when I actually legitimately sold my work and tried to monetize on whatever I did.
Oh, so it was 2014 you just started at 2014.
I started selling my work at 2014.
So you had a stall at Comic-Con.
That's nice.
Yeah, I had a stall at Comic-Con 2013, 14, and this year again. 2018, last year.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Very cool.
That's nice.
Very cool.
That's nice.
But what drove you to do that?
Well, again, I guess it was a bit of self-realization because, like I said, I hadn't considered at that point. I was still a newbie at that point. I still kind of am, but I was very new to all of this. So I think the decision really came after seeing the response to my art at the 2013 Comic-Con. I thought this was something that I could actually be doing even in the future, and that there was potential there. And that's when I decided to actually move forward with that decision and act upon it. And that was from 2014.
Okay.
Interesting.
Shri.
What about you?
Yes. Well, it's an old and boring story. So people know
Actually,
it
it's
already.
pretty interesting, right? Like when people get to know why, how, and where did you start? I think why is a bigger question in this whole thing.
Why?
Why did you start
Make money?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you make money?
Exactly. I think that's a very profound question. You know why? I'll tell you why.
That is. But
The only purpose is to pay the bills. The why is to pay the bills.
I'll come back to why.
I have a very good answer for that.
Yes.
Why you make
Yeah,
money.
Shri, go on, man. Why, where, and how did you start making money?
So I'll begin with why. And we'll talk about X and other stuff later.
Fats.
So yes, why? Just like I said, we need to pay bills in the first place, and I wanted to have a career in art, and I've been fancying it all my life, and I never knew anything else which could pay my bills off, to be honest. And of course now, so what was it? Why, when, and where?
Why, how,
Why, how,
and
and
where?
Why? Why? How? So how? Okay, so how is going to be a bit more elaborate. Um, so I've been practicing art since a long time, since I've been a child, and at a fine point maybe during my college when I was in my second year or so. Well, to be honest, there was another reason I never wanted to work under someone, which wasn't that satisfying. At the same time, and of course, the pay scales were not that impressive in India at that point of time, and even now, to be honest. And I never thought that could be equivalent and sufficing for my demands at home, and with the bills I had and whatever the stuff we have usually at home. So I thought freelancing was the way because it was quite liberating, when I thought about it. And I'm a very domesticated person, so I thought that would work well. And I thought that would float my boat well. At the same time, it would keep that afloat. So the only way I could do everything at the same time, I could also practice my passion is something, which is freelancing. And I saw some possibilities in that. And but still, it takes a lot of self confidence or lots of gut feeling. You need to believe in, and it's a leap of faith you need to take. I thought, I polished my skills a bit more before I could go professional, and then later on, it all happened. See, this was decided, but the process was a proper blend. I mean, I never planned. Okay, today I'm going to start earning, or it was never like that. It was a proper transition. Like I was just drawing and drawing, uploading stuff on social media, and I was learning and sketching all the day. And one fine day, some friend or another guy, approached me and asked if I can do him, and he would say that he would pay me. And I thought, okay, so this was what I was looking for. So I thought, okay, so this is what I've been looking for as well. So let's go ahead with it, and I accepted the commission. I just got the first bucks, from something I drew, and it felt good. And then it started that way, and it was the same idea. So and then after that, I started promoting myself and sharpening my own skills again and again. It was lots of hustle. Lots of hustling was happened at the same time. Lots of learning and so much of self promotion, and it all happened that way. So that's what how is at the same time when. This was around like when I was, like I said, when I was around the second year of my college. I'm talking about like 2009 and 10, somewhere between 2009 and 10. Yeah, so it was quite early when I was 18 or something. 18, 2020, so 19, I think so. I'm bad at math. So, yeah, there I go. That was very brief.
Cool, man.
That is nice. That is detailed.
Yes. Kesh,
Yes.
Yeah.
how did you go about doing the magic of earning money?
The magic of earning money. So your question was why, right? So
Why, how, and what?
Okay, so first I'll get to
When?
the why part, which is one. I want to sort of rant on this for a bit, because I had this thing I had this notion when I was like a young dude, like why can't all be artists, and just we live in a society where there's no money, and where there's people just get to do stuff for whatever the stuff they like, and sort of like a utopian society, where we all are granted to do whatever we want to do. Like it's not. I wouldn't say it's opportunity, it's outcome. Like everyone has the outcome of becoming an artist, not just because right now in today's society we have the all have, and everyone has the opportunity to become an artist. But I had the utopian idea of, okay, you know what, everyone should be able to do stuff, and I think it's a dumb, stupid idea.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very dumb idea, and I thank why we make money is because I think intrinsically we are like creatures who wants to like give out value, like You guys are quiet for some weird reason, and so that throws me
No,
off.
we are listening.
We're listening.
That is nice.
We
You
can't
guys-
make noise.
We're listening to the profound thoughts, please.
Yeah,
Letting this
we are quite into you.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
That's bad. That's wrong in so many ways.
I have no idea what that means, but yeah, fine.
I meant that to be wrong.
All right. So yeah, right. I mean, see, we all want to make we all have this sort of need, which I feel, to bring some sort of value to people or to ourselves. Like, I don't even know. Like, it doesn't have to be others. Like sometimes we should bring value for ourselves, and I think the society we live in has been sort of structured pretty well, where people has the opportunity, and people who can work and do the work can get forward, and that's why I make money. And I don't think I have more on that. Like, I don't want to go on and on about that. Like, that's why I make money. I don't know if I'm clear enough. I haven't articulated enough on that. What?
No, I was like, did I even understand what you were saying? So can you repeat that once again? Can you?
Okay, what
Why-
I'm sort of, I've been reading up right lately about like politics and economics and all that stuff, and I'm reading up on other modes of economic systems where you're sort of the wealth is equally distributed,
Yes.
and people doesn't have to, or everyone has equal outcome, equal income, and all
Yes,
that stuff,
yes.
and I think it's like a stupid.
Philosophy.
Yeah, I was gonna say F, but yeah, the F word. I'm not liberal on that.
Please feel free.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. The thing is, and sort of like capitalism, and I think capitalism is a good system where it motivates you to sort of pursue individual meaning rather than
Yes.
collective meaning.
Yes.
And instead of a group, you as Gokul can go out and make something,
Yeah.
then decide to do something for other people instead of it's being done to everybody else. Then it comes down to you as like a last trip.
And no one dictates on what I have to do and what I
Exactly.
have to do with the money that I earn as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I make money, so that
You want that freedom wherein you can
Yeah.
do whatever you want to do. That's
Yes.
why you make money.
yes.
Good.
And also, like, I want to leverage that money I make to something else.
Obvious. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But how and why?
Okay, how did I make money? Is I have clear
Or how and when?
when. Okay, I'll get to the how part. I'll get to the when part first. So this is like a very short story. I think it was in 2014 for me as well. I don't know, 2014 or 2013. I was paid to do a whiteboard animated video, right? Like you have this whiteboard thing, and you draw on that, and
It's complicated, I think so, for me.
yeah. So
seriously.
I had like sort of the video skills. I was in college doing film, so I sort of had the video skills, and someone hired me to pay and they paid me like 3,000 rupees. So for people who are, I'm not even kidding. They paid me 3,000 rupees, and
Mine was something on the same lines.
we should
Three was the
actually,
magic number then.
if today we can talk about numbers, that would be nice because
we are going to talk about numbers.
we need to talk about numbers because people need to know like what kind of money they can make in art. We don't need. We don't have. I mean, look, if you're not comfortable doing that, fine, but we should. Anyways, that stuff like, it was like 3,000 rupees, and I worked so damn hard to make that stuff happen. If I were doing that today, I'd like charge like 1 lakh for that. But yeah, and so that was my first job. So that was when part. So the how part, which is how do I make money? Oh yeah, so it's a great thing. So how I make money is I have a different perspective, or I wouldn't say different perspective. I have a defined way of how I see that. So one, to me, I think people make money when they offer something of value to someone else in the society. So that's how money making sort of works. You have to be useful and solve problems that other people have so that you can make money. And the bigger the problem you solve, the better money you'll make.
Yes.
And like, people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, they're solving like really complicated big problems, or at least they're in the process of. I think
Yes.
Steve Jobs sort of solved it. He's done with it, and Elon Musk, he's trying to solve some big problems, and hence big money. And the sort of problems that you're trying to solve will be like directly proportional, or is that what they say? Yeah, proportional
Yes.
to the money you make.
Or the value that you provide is proportional
Yeah.
to the money that you're gonna make.
Yeah. So how exactly I make money is that I solve the problem of what it means from going to zero to like 100, of like how to be an artist from like zero, ground 0, and going there, and how can I make that journey interesting, and how can I make that fun for other people to know, and I share the process. I share the what do you say, the behind the scenes.
The thoughts.
Yeah, it's like if you turned out to be a big artist after like 50 years, and like some big shot, and you can look back and you'll have like a big documentation of all that has happened. So that's
Nice.
how I sort of make money.
Cool.
I
So
don't know. It's weird.
I haven't made money out of my own art, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. So
Well, I can say the fix. I can say that it's fortunately that
exactly right.
Business type.
So just to give a different perspective on how to make money out of art from a business standpoint, right? So I'm a mechanical engineer. So when I have no clue about art,
Right.
mechanical engineers, yeah. So
Mech engineers unite.
yes. So the thing is when it comes to selling art, right? So I believe the value proposition that every art brings out to the end consumer is completely different. And the amount of money that anybody can charge for any type of art also varies with respect to the perception of how much the value the art is going to add to the end consumer, right? And there is no fixed amount on how much money that I can charge for an art, let's say in a badge or in a bag or whatever, right? So I think it comes down to the end consumer's perception, and to understand that perception of value that you provide to the end consumer, I think you've got to go back, do some research on what consumers would probably pay and stuff. I think that sometimes helps me out, right? So when we launch a new product with a particular artwork on it, we first do a little research going around the market, checking out what are our competitors doing first of all, and second of all, how much premium would people pay for something that if I give something better, that's better than my competitor, right? So that is something very important to us, because if we get the pricing bad or wrong, then the whole thing goes bizarre, right? No one's going to buy the stuff, and there's no point in me even printing that art form on a particular product and selling. So
I agree. Yeah.
so I started this up selling art in 2013 when we started limited edition notebooks for college students, right? And I want to give a small story on the impact of good art, what it does to a brand and also to people's perception of a brand, right? So we spoke about floods a few minutes back before the recording, right? So floods made a very big impact on me.
Okay, give them some context.
Yeah, I'll give you a context. So floods made a very big impact on how I perceived art.
What floods?
Yeah, so Chennai flood. So in 2014 and 15, so I ran a company called My Copy, wherein we did notebooks for college students, and all the designs on it were limited edition designs, illustrated designs. And we also had really cool content inside, wherein it would be like 10 ways to fall in love, 15 ways to bunk classes and stuff. So we were out there.
Nice way to motivate students.
Exactly my point, right? No one wants to learn about how fast a cheetah is or how tall a giraffe is, right? That's all crap. No college student wants to know about that.
Are you talking about the brand I'm thinking about right now?
Exactly, the same brand, ITC classmate, right? So I didn't give a damn. I was competing with them, right? So the point, it's not like, okay. So the point is, so we were doing that stuff for like 3 to 4 years. We were across like multiple cities and states and blah 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 stuff. And in 2015, when the Chennai floods hit us, right, my whole office and godown went under water, and that meant we lost like quite an amount of money. I don't want to say the amount, quite a lot of amount of money.
But we are talking about figures.
Okay,
We're talking about numbers.
we lost about 30 to
No,
35
I was just
lakhs
kidding.
worth of money in like 36 hours.
Damn, 35 lakhs worth of money in
35 lakhs worth of stock and products and stuff in like 36 hours. Like within from when the flood started, the
Kunal
whole
told
Gulon
me
and office
about
went under
about
water.
this. Was seriously
yeah,
bad.
like
It was so
$10,000
bad.
That is really,
Yes.
really bad.
So that made me that pushed me to a point where I've got to take a call wherein if I have to close down this particular venture because I didn't have more money to put in, and I had lenders to whom I have to pay as well, right?
So wait, everything went down in floods. It got wet or
No, if a notebook, if a paper gets wet, what do you do with it? You can't use anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So unfortunately, the factory who were producing my notebooks, they also went underwater because they were near a lake. So it was a pretty crappy situation, right? So, but I'm coming quickly to the point. So when we decided to either close down the company or bring back the company in some form or the other, right? So we didn't have enough money to bring back the company. So we were contemplating on what to do. That's when I got a random call from a guy. He's a college student who stays like 50 kilometers from my office. And this guy gives me a call 3 or 4 days after the flood, and he says, "Is this my copy and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, we are my copy and stuff." He's like, "I want to buy a notebook." We were like, "Dude, we don't have any notebooks left. Everything went underwater. We probably have 2 or 3 notebooks, and that are dry." And this guy's like, "No, I want to come to your office and pick up those notebooks." And we were like, "We have only few." He's like, "No, I'm gonna come." We thought that guy was kidding. Next day morning, that guy took a bus.
He actually showed up.
50 kilometers, okay? He came to my office even before we arrived, okay? He was at the office and he was like, "Sir, I'm at your office. Where are you?" I'm like, "Dude." So we went to the office and that guy was seeing our notebooks and the products and the whatever we had that were dry, right? And we thought he's going to pick up something and go off. He didn't do that. He gave a call to his girlfriend who's staying 50 kilometers away, the place where he's coming from. And they both were discussing what designs they have out of the my copy notebooks. So since the notebooks were limited edition in design, we print only 10,000 copies of each design. So they were collecting the designs. They were collecting the notebooks. It's a 50 rupee normal notebook.
And they were making a collection.
They were making a collection of the designs that we were putting out.
What do you mean they're making a collection?
So each notebook comes with one particular design, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
let's say I launch a 10 lakh note or
Right,
a lakh notebook. There are going to be 10 different designs in it.
Okay.
So they're collecting the whole series.
They
Yeah,
were collecting the whole series. So every store they don't get all the designs. So it randomly goes out, right? So these guys know that they were all limited edition. They were collecting the designs. So that made a huge impact on me, right? And I asked him, "Why would you spend $200 to buy a $50 notebook that you might probably not buy at all?" But that made a huge impact on me on how art changes the perception of value of a product that's as simple as a notebook.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when I realized, you know what? If anything that can be sold, if it's creative and if it's cool and if it also targets a particular customer in a way that he or she likes, I think you can add value to anything. You can add value to a mug, to an underwear, to anything and everything, right? If you put something, make it really cool by creating art over it. So I think that's what I'm trying to say.
You put a red font, a red logo called Supreme on a white T-shirt.
Exactly.
And you sell it for $1,000.
Exactly, right?
Gucci,
Exactly.
yeah, right? Am I right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So cool. So let's come to the point of you guys. You guys were talking about how you guys made money, right? So let's talk about the one important thing from my side. The question that I want to ask is about most of the artists being introverts and not being able to take a decision on going forward to even monetize what they know or what they can do. So have you guys ever faced a challenge of being introverts wherein you guys were so hesitant?
Yeah, before that, right? Yeah, he have that question in mind.
Okay.
But I just want to refocus on all of us, right? To sort of like an end goal for this podcast, which is okay. At the end of this podcast, the person who is listening to this should be able to know what are the options that they can use to make money, right? So that'll be the end goal.
Obviously.
But we all haven't sort of exactly spoken or told people that how we make money, in the sense we haven't pointed
That's
out
gonna be the next thing.
the stream.
That
Okay,
is gonna be the next thing. So I was thinking.
I had that in mind, so
Yes, I do.
like,
Yeah.
blurred
So that's okay. Cool. So have you guys ever faced? Please don't make those funny faces.
you guys are making funny faces. Dude, it's so damn hard to talk.
No, we are just listening. No, we are so into the conversation.
So into
we're
the
not
conversation
concerned with
that
the
you
way
guys
we
slept.
look.
So no, it's not
Faces we're
about
making.
both of you guys. It's about Shweta. So.
Oh, you finally said the name.
You said her name.
Shweta.
No, to the listeners, the girl is no one.
Okay. So coming back to the question, right? So I was asking if you guys have you guys ever been introverts, and how did you come out of that particular block that most of the artists have, right? And decide how to make money or how to go about even pitching your stuff.
Right.
So what would you tell to a fellow artist who's coming up, who's like hesitant to even talk about what he does, or even hesitant to even sell to people what he does, right? So what would you guys tell that particular artist? Shri.
Okay, so I wouldn't I wouldn't categorize a person and also his profession and also his earnings according to how introverted he is or how extroverted or ambiverted how he or she is anyway. But still, hence since it influences a person's or the artist attributes and everything. I would say that I belong to the introvert category. At the same time, I generally don't get out so often. I kind of am awkward with talking in people in large numbers. Wherever there are events, and also all this usual stuff they say about introverts, right? So it was indeed a challenge for me because both of these things are, though they are two different things, they are interrelated at a certain point. Where it comes to socializing with the crowd in large numbers, because that's where the contacts are. That's where the contacts are, and where there are contacts, there is money, or there is a job, or there is a project. It's extremely interrelated, and it was indeed a challenge for me. Because in the beginning of the years, even I wouldn't even say that it's in the beginning, but it's only been like a couple of years, also 3 or 4 years maybe, since I've been getting out often, and people still say that I'm not getting out too often, and they always keep complaining about I don't go out, like I don't get off my ass,
Socializing.
off my chair and socialize because I'm a freelancer. Yeah, since I said I'm a freelancer, it demands a lot of socializing, and they never go hand in hand, especially for being an artist, because the job we have to do is something which is extremely stationary. The profession demands us to stay in one place and draw and draw and draw. We need to churn out more artworks, and the demand is too much, and the competition as well on social media. But still, we have to get out there and socialize with people, talk to them, talk about stuff, kind of gel with each other, and try to impress them and pitching the ideas. All this stuff requires, and there's this thing called introversion. So what I realized was, my introversion has to be defeated with with socializing skills, because there's no other way around it. At the end of the day, you need the project, you need clients, you need to attend the events for that. No one is going to knock your door and going to say, oh, Sri, I have a project for you. No, they're never going to do it for you. So you need to get out there, because there are lots of artists out there who are trying to grab the opportunities, and you need to be one of them as well. So that's something which is extremely important. And I face the heat of the competition because of the same reason, and everyone's going ahead of me, and I could see them passing across me. At the same time, even I was really wondering, how do I go about this, and then I started being a bit more social, started meeting people, and at the same time, involuntarily, all these talks happened, like social talks, like there was this talk called Echakucha Nights, which was a Japanese sort of a socializing event, which was quite famous at a certain point, where you would be given around like 20 into 20 format, like 20 slides and 20 minutes for each for each independent, where you can present yourself and all. I've been invited, and I spoke there. And I gradually developed my public speaking skills, though it's never developed, to be honest. But still, that was how it all began. And then, and I would say it was indeed challenging for me, and well, that impacts the earning dimension of our own in our own profession, especially when you're a freelancer, is what I'm trying to say. So you need to get out more to have more contacts, more clientele, because
Cool.
the moment I started getting out was when I started
Started.
being more in limelight. Is
Cool.
what I would say.
Cool, man. Aditya.
Wait, what? So rephrase the question.
So the question is, let's say if most of the artists
Like
are
specific, yeah.
see artists. Okay, as an artist, if you're being an introvert, how do you go about? How do you get out of the block of being an introvert and go? How do you go about and start introducing yourselves or even start selling your product, right? So she was telling that he was an introvert and he started socializing because he had to socialize, and then that's when he got to meet a lot more people. That's when he got to sell his heart. That's when he got to know a lot more people. On the other side, that's when a lot of people also got to know about him and his art as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's also the other way around.
Yes.
And now, now that I got the question. Sorry, Adi, it's your turn right now.
Yeah. No, I think it my answer also falls in line with Sri's. I was an introvert and I still am an introvert. But in order to get your work noticed or in order to be able to take it forward, if you're an introvert, I mean, again, that shouldn't matter. But if you are, there is no other way. You have to put yourself out there. You have to take that step and you have to overcome your fear. And otherwise, there's no way people, like Sri said, no one's going to come knocking on your door saying, hey, look, we have some projects for you. You have to showcase your work and you have to put yourself out there. And I think for me, when I really started getting my work noticed, I think Comic-Con really helped me a lot. When I did the first two Comic-Cons in 2013 and 14, I was drawing much before that, but that was the first time I actually had to speak to large numbers of people in public and share with them what exactly it is I do and put my work out there for the first time. And as daunting as that was, that opened up so many doors for me. I met a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of like potential opportunities over that time, and my work was slowly becoming known more and more. So I think for me, or like my advice per se would be to put yourself out there, attend as many events as possible, go to as many meetups as possible, find people who are like-minded. There is no shortage. There's no shortage of artists out there. You just have to. The trick is to just find them.
So socializing is the thing.
So socializing is the key. For me, socializing was the key. And as awkward and introverted I may be, I'm slowly getting better at it. And that's yielded so many positive things for me and my art.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Kesh, I kind of feel you have a different point of view because I don't think you are an introvert. So I want to know from your perspective. So
Kesh, I want to hear from you. You're like the complete opposite of me and Steve.
It's not being,
I don't think I'm the opposite of you guys. I mean, lately I thought I was an introvert just because I was an artist, and I was under that impression. But the more I was around people, the more I was more engaged, more happy, and more fulfilled. And to be honest, I think I'm sort of stuck in an introverted job being an extrovert. So like my extroversion is so damn high, and I just need to like be around people. And dude, like I'm suffering, man. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Like some days are like so bad. I've gone to a point where I like hire people just to be here.
Wow.
In the office, so that I have some people around this thing, so that I can work.
Wow.
But like the thing is, work according to your temperament is what I would say. Like whatever your temperament is, if you're an introvert, like dude, make use of that, man. Turn it into a strength instead of a weakness.
Exactly.
Like, okay, here are some approaches you can use. If you're an introverted person, you can talk to one person. You probably cannot talk to three people at the same time. So talk to one person, and that's all you need to do. Go to an event or to a place. Don't talk. Just be around and pick someone and try to talk to them. Right?
Yeah.
Try. Like you just try. And you might get something. Another way for introverts, we sort of have the advantage because we live in a world right now that supports introverts more than extroverts.
Yeah.
Because yeah, what?
But why do you think?
Wait.
That's a first. That's a first.
Well, no. Yeah, I'm so damn true. It's true. Social media. One word. Social media.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
you don't have to get out of your house to meet people. You don't have to face another one to make friends with them. I know Shweta. I don't even know her. This is the first time I'm seeing her. Right? See, yeah, Shweta is the fifth person sitting here. Right. So yeah, see, like this is how you get to know people. Like you get to actually be an anonymous person online and go and talk to people.
Yes.
And you sort of develop that skill. You like go around, comment on other people's work.
Yeah.
And you're not presenting yourself, you're presenting a persona of yourself. And that's the best way. Use social media to your advantage. Start posting stuff. Now if you're an introverted person, don't show your face. Build a persona.
Okay.
Instead of showing your face.
Got it.
It doesn't matter if you show your face or not. If you after a point you'll get comfortable showing your faces.
Yes.
But you don't have to. You just need to present your work and build a myth, a character.
Yes.
And that character is your persona.
But how truthful does that character have to be?
It's up to you.
But
And
does
it's
it
up to
have
the-
to be truthful?
It's up to the audience. Okay, now guys, people who's listening, they're giving us time updates. Okay, we actually have a timer that's on the record thing, so we have no more updates going on. It was Gokul's idea to give us Shweta. Thank you. I got that friends.
I just want to see how creative Shweta is.
Just
Yeah.
bumped our fists together and yeah. Anyways, what were we saying?
So I was asking, so you said people could create a persona online in social media if they're introverts, wherein they can talk to people,
Right.
comment on, and also post about themselves, right? But then, does this persona have to be truthful to who the person is, or do you think they can create a different person of who they are?
I think the point is to get your work out there. Creating a persona is one thing. It can be whatever you want it to be, but at the end of the day, you are doing it because you are trying to get your work known. It's not so much about.
That is true. but the thing is-
honestly,
no, that is true. But
yeah.
like you end up building a persona regardless of what you do.
Yes.
honestly, if you ask me, sorry for that. If you ask me, sometimes I've realized that it's like each of us have have our own medicine which would work for us. That's different. But what I've realized for myself or for my professional life is something it was really enlightening because it hit me hard when I started attending events. Just like you said, the online persona we give and the level of work we share to the clients and the level of interaction we have with the people is something which is really, really helpful online. And I've always been in the same belief as well. But once I started socializing, I mean, it's not like I'm always out there and every Saturday night or something like that. Socializing, I mean, I've been attending to events and, I've been meeting people in the meetings and with all the clientele and all the stuff. That's what I mean by socializing. And when I got out, that's when I had that real-time connection with them. I was able to build a solid impression to the client that this is a person, he's not imaginary, he's not virtual, this person is real and he's humble or he's good or he's bad or he's an artist and I've met him. Okay, so
validation.
Yeah, it gives a sense of validation. At the same time, they'll be having an idea of, okay, this person lives here, and because the thing is, you'll be right in the moment. You'll be building a solid conversation, which will actually construct a lot of memory in their brains more than an online conversation.
I think it's about building relationships.
No.
Right?
The thing is, my point is not to actually build an online persona. My point is for an introvert to use social media as a gateway drug to get social.
To get started off.
Yeah, get started. I always
make no
prefer
mistake.
offline conversation. I'm telling you, I'm an extrovert, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So
But make no mistake. Anyway, I've been the same. I've been that online persona for the longest time as possible. So I know the difference. It made in my life. So these are my 2 cents.
So if we can come to a conclusion
On that thing. Yeah, I
then-
have 2 points on that.
Yeah.
So you wanted to know how to build a honest online persona, right?
Yes.
One, the best strategy is to be truthful and honest to yourself. And the way people perceive you is not within your control. So whatever people, you can try to be as open and as honest as possible online, and to build, or you can be very methodological,
methodological.
yeah, whatever that word is.
Methodical.
Methodical and crafty about your persona. And either way, right? If you're methodical and crafty, you're putting yourself in a box.
Yes.
And if you're being open and honest, that's one. The thing is, people will put you in a box regardless. Their perception of you is vastly different than what you think of yourself.
Yes.
And on that, right? So don't try to build a brand. I've been that sort of puts your art in a box where it restrict your creativity, where you can go beyond spaces. But be open and honest about yourself as much as you can, and know that the perception of what other people have about you will be wrong. People think of me as this happy-go-lucky guy all the damn time.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah. So from this conversation, what I understand is if you're being an introvert, if you're finding it difficult to go talk about yourself or your art, you could probably start out putting out stuff in social media, creating a persona about what you do, who you are, and stuff. See, for example,
You don't have to create a persona, but the persona will be created regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, right? So for like what Keshav said, so people are having their own perception of what Keshav is and who Keshav is. But on the other side, let's say, for example, Alicia Souza as a person, right? So she's so she's extrovert to the way wherein most of her followers know what she's doing throughout the day mostly. She's putting up what's happening in her life, everything, right? So that's a different extreme altogether. So you will have to be either physically out there talking to people or mentally out there talking to people, like this in social media, to be able to get out and move things forward.
The point is to get yourself.
So sorry, Adi, just one more thing. The thing is, why people form a false perception of people online. No matter how hard you try, unless you stream yourself 24/7, even when you do that, they can get in hold of reality, because you're seeing a BTS, like a sort of like highlight reel of everybody else's lives.
Because what people post is predominantly all the happy stuff, right?
Right.
All the good stuff, right? No one posts sad stuff.
No, even if they do, you're not posting the entire sad stuff, rather than a summarized version
small
of the sad
snippet
stuff.
of it.
Cool. You cannot get an understanding of reality,
Got it.
regardless of what you do on social media. Yeah.
Super. So having spoken to a lot of artists in the past 3-4 years of my journey, right? So I've spoken to artists who've just passed out of school, college, or even professional artists like you guys. So when I asked them how do they start earning money and stuff, so I've been hearing this 4 points on a regular basis, right? One, they said, so like what she said earlier, I kept posting my work online and people got to know about it, and somehow some of my friends or one of the followers came back to me and asked me how to do about the stuff, or gave me a project and paid me money, right? Second thing that I've also heard is do free stuff. So some of the artists who I've spoken to, they're like, you know what, people, even if they don't pay me money, I go willingly and tell them, you know what, I can do this stuff for you. It's up to you to either like it or not like it, or it's up to you to even pay me. So
the pro bono helps a bit. There.
So the reason they tell me that they do that is because one, they gain experience, and second, they also get to know how people react to their artwork, their type of working, and how they can hone themselves or make themselves better to sell their art and at a future level, right?
So it's kind of like testing the waters a little bit.
Exactly,
by doing that, right?
exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's only possible during the beginning stages, or at
Obviously.
least in the
Yeah, once you're once you're already established.
Not established.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're into the profession, or once
Yeah.
you're done doing all the stuff, professionally, or once you're into building your own portfolio, I don't think that stuff works anymore.
Yeah.
See,
But it's up to the artist
See,
anyway.
obviously,
Depends.
it's when somebody is building up or being an artist, they know they're good at what they're doing, but they still don't know how much to charge or who will work with them or
Yes,
how
yeah,
to work
yeah.
with them, right? And,
Yes, yes.
and the other big question is a big thing that most of the artists have told me is there is no definite way for us to charge for what we do. At least for the
Absolutely,
at least for the beginners, right? They find it very difficult for to charge for what they do because they actually don't know how much their product or artwork is valued on the outside. For example,
Absolutely, yeah.
so from my perspective, right? So let's say I find a particular artist doing some really cool stuff, but he's like in his teens or he's not. If I know that he's not going to charge me a lot, I'll go to him. I'll say him, you know what? I'm being truthful from a business point. When I go to him and say, you know what? I want this stuff to be done by you, but I'm going to pay you pennies. That's because I know he's not going to charge me a lot. But from the artist perspective, right? I feel bad for them in a way wherein they're not able to charge what they want to charge or what they should be charging because they don't know how to charge.
And also, even if they know, sometimes it's all about the society we live in,
Exactly.
and the
right?
affordability.
So I want to go deep into that particular question of how do you understand or do you know how much you have to charge for something that you do, right? I know that's like a bigger question into it. There's no particular number that you can put on top of it. But as an artist, how did you guys come about doing that particular?
There are two ways to look about it. One, either look at the market value of the service that you're offering, like look at what other people are charging for the same quality
Exactly.
and level of work that you're doing, or if you want to go the personal responsibility route, which I do most of the time, which is okay, what was the money which I earned, or how much did I earn last month or the month before that? Okay, how many hours did I work? Okay, great. I'm gonna find the value of my hour or of my time. Okay, what's my cost per hour thing? Then I'll sort of charge that, and then use that as a base point to go and talk to the customer and see if my time is worth that particular service or that service worth my.
But as an artist who's starting up, right?
out.
So how flexible would you want to be with respect to the amount of money that people are willing to pay?
But before that, right? I mean, on free stuff, doing free work.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting out, you don't have money, so you need to trade in some sort of value. And you need. Okay, the thing is,
Or to even create a professional portfolio, right? Wherein you can say, you know what, I've done this and this. Because I've seen college students telling me, you know what, I've done this and this stuff for this and this brands. And
Right.
when I asked them, they're like, no, they didn't pay me, but I did this stuff for all this brand. I did this because I want to build a portfolio where I can put up saying that I've worked for X, Y, and Z brands.
okay, that is good. That's a good strategy. But the thing is, they look at it as a short-term tactic, meaning, okay, I'm going to do free work for the next 5 months. Then after that, I'm going to go into paid work. No, you have to actually sort of play chess here. You need to know when to do free work and when to do paid work. There will be a time where you're 7 years or 8 years into your freelance and you might have to do a piece of free work. And that might give you the opportunity or contact with something else that will change.
That is it, yeah.
And so see, when you're starting out, you don't have money. When you don't have money, you have a lot of time. So leverage what you have. And I started out doing a lot of free work, man.
So why did you do the free stuff? Is it to build a portfolio or is it to get experience?
I don't care about experience. Rather, what I do care about is building up skill.
So you did that free stuff so that you can build up your skill?
And relationships.
Got it. So that you can probably charge them at a later point in time.
Yes.
Super.
I would, yeah, if they end up as a recognition.
Obviously, yeah. So yeah, Aditya, why don't you give your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as experienced in this department, but what I have noticed, my only like my real sales with my art or like a monetization came from, again, in the early days with the Comic-Con events, and then it was kind of a different approach to it because again, I was not selling original artworks. I was selling prints, and I also kind of think that I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask, why don't you sell originals, or why don't you? Because firstly, the art style I deal with takes a tremendous amount of time to complete like
Oh
one
boy.
piece.
Oh yes.
And right, and then there are also people who ask, okay, I want to buy an original from you. Will you make this for me? I'm going to pay you something that I'm going to pay you like little pennies, because I kind of felt like that they couldn't value the time and the effort that I was putting into my work.
But were you
And
able to put a value on what? Because most of the artists, younger people, right? Let's say teenagers and people who are just passing out, they don't know how to put a value on their own artwork. So
it's true, and even I didn't. Even I didn't at the time, because I was what? I was what, 19, 18, 19, and that was like that was my first time in uncharted territory, and I had no idea what I was doing, to be frank. And I was kind of like asking around and just making it up as I went along. But as I kept doing these events, and I think I did like 2 or 3 more events after that, wherein I just sold my prints, and uh, just I guess I made like it was a start for me. It was a start for me, and I made some amount of income.
so did you
And
do free
I
stuff?
no, yeah, I did actually. I did. I did actually. Now that I think back on it, I did do quite a bit of free stuff.
Why did you do
And
the free stuff?
well, mainly to build relationships, mainly to build relationships, and to because at that point I was still not established enough.
Got it.
I was not at a point where I could say, look, this is my work, you know about it, and this is how much I charge.
Got it.
Because they could have easily gone to some other guy who's more established and who's more reputed with his work.
Uh-huh.
I was the baby fish in a very big pond.
Got it.
So. And it was kind enough for people to come to me and actually recognize my work when I went out to these events.
Got it.
And I don't know if this is just me or if it's like a thing, but I felt like I was not yet at a point where I could
Dictate terms
be
and
very-
charge.
dictate terms as such and be very authoritative about it, because because I wanted them to know about my work, to know
Cool,
what my style
cool,
is, or how I operate. And
Good.
I guess for that I had to do a lot
Some
of
free
free
stuff.
stuff. But
But you
yeah.
know, you should ask them or ask the question. Okay, everybody is doing it for relationships, but why build relationships?
Yeah, that's exactly the next question.
Oh,
So-
mind reader.
I think we are synced in the mind.
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, coming to that question, what Kesh said, right? So why would you want to build a relationship as a fresh artist who just don't know how to charge their artwork, and you want to make an impression, but why would you want to build a relationship?
There's so many there are so many artists out there. There are already so many well-established artists out there. What do you bring to the table that people could feel of value, that they would consider coming to you instead of going to anybody else? It's like a vast ocean of artists. You have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, or you have to know someone. You have to have a bit of an entry point, I feel, as like a very new artist.
So you're playing
to
on the
be-
price point where you're telling them, you know what, if somebody's going to do it, it's going to cost you some amount of money, but I'm going to do it for free to you.
Yeah, I guess that's yeah.
So, but then you build the relationships for what? I don't think we still have got an answer for
But
that.
the answer, Shri, got something on this?
I have got lots of shit on this.
Yeah, go on.
I think Sri would be the better person to answer this question.
Yes, so
Let's rephrase the question. Why
Yeah.
Why did you do free stuff if you did, and why did you build relationships? And second of all,
After Shri, I'll give out a real
sure.
example.
Go on, yeah.
yes, number one, I never did free stuff. I didn't want
Nice.
to.
Nice.
I didn't want to because when I did free stuff for myself, which was practice, and when I had enough practice, when I thought that I could go professional, and that's when I realized that I could charge and because I am my time is not answerable to anyone at the same and it has to be charged at the same time at the same and on a different level. I've realized, it's all about, the psychologies, the psychologies of people here in India. We have, lots of people, they take you for granted, despite being a freelance illustrator or an artist or being a professional artist for so long now, more than 8+ years, 10 years almost, I still get to ask to do free stuff. You know, even after like 10 years, I still have lots and lots of shitloads of people who keeps
Yes.
messaging me and mailing me and
Yes.
asking me to do, oh, why can't you do free stuff? Oh, I'll get, it'll give you lots of exposure, and I can give you,
Yes.
I can recommend your name to big ass companies. Dude, if you're bigger, if you know the big ass guys, then you wouldn't ask the stuff for free in the first place. So, so this is how the people are. I was extremely cautious about how granted people would take you, because once you start doing the free stuff, I had people when I did stuff. I'm just giving you an analogy. Like I started doing stuff for like 10 rupees,
Uh-huh.
and when I after like 6 months or 1 year or 2 years of developmental skill development, I started upgrading my price card maybe till to 15 rupees or 20 rupees. And then even after 2 years, people were like, dude, you were doing for 10 rupees back then, why
Yes,
now?
yes. So you
So
were mature enough to tell people that you can't do free stuff, and they will have to pay for your time and effort that you put in
yeah, so
from
I
day
was
one.
actually very much, yeah, from day one, because I was very much upfront, because this is my profession and this is how it works.
So coming to the second question, right? An add-on question is, so how did you figure out how much money you would want to charge them?
Wait.
So
Oh, was
uh,
she talking now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a very common question I usually get, and each and every practice has a different way to approach, and each and every practice has a different way of approach. At the same time, I generally, I was in the same situation where I never used to understand what to charge and how to charge and how to go about that. But eventually, just like Kesh said, it was absolutely on the spot. First of all, do your market research. Just make sure that you know the competitive prices about the about the quality of work other artists are offering. At the same time, what they are pricing at,
You have
approach
to
them
stress on
professionally.
that, dude. Actually,
Yeah, so understand the market,
quality.
where is the bar set and where you have to take it further. At the same time, another approach to this is calculate your expenses. I mean, it's not expenses as in the bills you have.
Yes.
The it could be anything, but the expenses. I mean, with the equipment you have, the artistic
Yes.
equipment.
Yes. Yes.
If you have a graphic tablet, if you bought it for 10,000, include that. If you're buying pencils, depending on the brand, it's something like 100 rupees a pencil, like 500 rupees a sketchbook. How
Wow.
often are you running out of the materials? How many hours are you
You have
spending,
to
and
keep
how
it.
much
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Wow.
know how many hours are you spending on it? And if you were at an if you were in an art school, what was the fees? And what was the money you invested? And what are the hours you spent practicing? What was the struggle you went through? It's all about having a value on your figures. You know um, make it worth the while, because everything has to be accountable to your to your account book, because no one is going to give you free stuff if you do, no one is going to give you anything else, no one is going to give you a single goddamn penny if you're doing stuff for free.
Yes.
you know if you're doing things for free, you're not respecting your own work. This is just according to my opinion, my honest opinion.
Now, Mama, I have something
No, no,
on
no,
that.
no, no,
Now,
no. It's all about for me. I
Yeah,
just like I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
because
yeah,
I have loads of artists. I know loads of artists, just like Case said. Who did stuff for free just for the selfish reasons, not because they could not respect their work.
right.
Selfish reasons like building the skill.
No, but
I
that's
was doing.
also a point, right? So I don't.
Yeah. The thing is,
Yeah, I think. Do you have a different perspective on it?
Yeah, I have way different perspective. 99% of the people who are listening to this podcast are like sort of beginners or sort of want to make art a living, should be doing free stuff all the time. all the freaking time. But will it suit your temperament? Are you a speed rabbit like me?
Yes.
You know, I'm a speedy guy. I go fast. I go really, really fast. You know, like I do stuff, I fail. Like people know a lot of my failures, like public failures. And I just like go so damn fast. I don't care about these minuscule amounts of time that goes into the thing. And also when I'm doing free stuff, I don't expect anything out of it from the other person. Example, I'll give you an example. 20 when was it, 2015 or 2016, I don't know. So there's a name to this thing which I did apparently. I read it afterwards. So I contacted Jake Parker. So you know Jake Parker, right? Creator of Inktober. So I was like, I just hit him up. Just like randomly I hit him up. Like I was a beginner. I have these skills. And you know what I'll do is, I'll edit things for you for free. I'll take all your videos. I'll take all your stuff. And you don't have to pay me a single penny. I'll do everything for free, 100%. And in return, you know, nothing. I don't want anything. I said I literally don't want anything. I just want to work with you.
Wow.
So here's what happened. So I took his videos. He's got some wonderful messages, but all of them are in like long form formats. So I just took a video, took a thing of his, and then I put it together. It's called Finish Not Perfect, a video, and I put that thing together. Yeah, I get that. She's swirling her. No, we're good. So yeah. So the thing is, you guys are distracting me, man. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Sorry, continue.
So the thing is, we put a video together called Finish Not Perfect, right? And that so that was my first time experimenting something new style of video making, of storytelling. We put it on Facebook, 19 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, boom. Then what I did was I kept on editing videos for him. He had this vlog series going on. I took all his vlogs. I edited. I worked my freaking ass off.
How long was it? How long did you do this?
It was like 3-4 months.
Wow. So how many hours of video would you have edited in that time?
I think I must have put in like I have no clue.
Okay. So
I
it's
kept
huge amount of time.
it wasn't that many videos, but there was a lot of footage which had to be put together into like really good videos. And he liked it. And the thing was, a guy who was clueless, you know, at that time, who didn't know what exactly he wanted to do, how to make money, finally saw the value I can offer to other people. Boom. Contacted, hit other people up, and told them I can make videos for you. Got started.
And you can also give this as a reference, right? You tell them, you know,
I did. See, the thing about doing free stuff, you never know what happens, right? You never know what happens. And I could actually point to someone and say, hey, guess what? You know, I made a video that hit 19 million views on Facebook. That's my market value right there.
Yes.
And that video wouldn't have hit 19 million if I hadn't done it for Jake Parker, because he had the foundational systems that was set up on his Facebook page that had 70,000 followers at that time. You know, most of his videos did 100,000 views, but none did 19 million views.
Wow.
But when a good skill and a great already established empire met, it clicked.
Nice.
And that was an opportunity for me to use. And I would say most people do free stuff because, see, you do your free stuff during your free time.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. What's your free time?
So I totally agree with that. At the same time, I would also I also have a variated opinion on this, a variety of opinions, something you know, as a spin-off.
No, I get you.
So just like like I said in the very beginning, you know, each and every artist has their own medicine, you know. But for me, so there are I've seen lots of people. You know, I had no time to do free stuff because no time, as in I couldn't afford so much of time because I was at the brink of bankruptcy. As in my family, you know, you cannot afford. You know, so there are times where you cannot afford to do free stuff. At the same time, you had to practice a lot. So that was what I was saying. So when you have to do free stuff, what I generally do is befriend few people like God forbid, if they have good funny faces, I've done many portraits and caricatures of them, and they would post it on their profiles, and that would gain a good traction to my profile as well. So that's another organic way of building a communication with the
Got it.
uncharted territories, like Adi said.
Super.
So yeah, so it's entirely different. Like I was only talking about the people in this part of the country, because I would totally support Kesh's opinion, because it was Jake Parker, because I would never have gotten that particular attraction, or that level of support from someone in India or any other client from India, because
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not being a racist here, but that was what
No, it depends. I get what you're saying.
No,
but
so
it
it's
depends a lot.
what I understand from this whole conversation is it could be Jake Parker, it could be Rajinikanth. It doesn't matter, right? So if somebody
it's
is
all about the
yeah, so
yeah.
if you think you're gonna add value to them, and that's invariably could probably help you out at a later stage as well, with respect to your skill,
Yeah.
and also with respect to your future prosperity.
Exactly.
that
So
Future
that
prospects,
respect,
right? So in that case, the value is not just money that you get; it's also the kind of outcome or reach that you and your output gets, right?
The work reveals itself.
Yes.
Is what I
Yes.
say.
Yes.
That videos determine the style of my channel,
Got it.
which took off and which is now my big thing.
Super. So we talked about why you guys made money, how you guys made money and stuff, but I don't think we've got in detail on how individually what are the modes in
Of
which you
money.
guys make money, right? So it's not. I don't think you guys make money just by putting up an Instagram post. No one's gonna like is not gonna earn you any money. So how about you guys individually going one after the other and quickly tell what are the modes in which you guys earn a living?
So of course, it is never that easy, and it is not with just one Instagram post and one Facebook post, and boom, you have $10,000 in your wallet. So it takes lots and lots of patience. Wait for it. Wait for the client to approach, and you don't know where they can come from and where they will come from, because all the stuff you need to do is hang in right there. Be patient. Promote yourself. I wouldn't say very subtly, because promotion has to be intense, because that's what it is. Just like I said, no one is going to knock on your door and say that, dude, I have a project for you. So it's never going to work like that, because there is a lot of passive competition on social media, and that is how you get your work. And you just promote yourself, blatantly. Like I always say, shove it in the people's throat. Shove the advertisements, or post, make some good stuff.
No, but
it's not
exactly
only
what are the
about
modes in which you make money?
Yeah, that is the question.
modes, as in the source.
Yeah, the source. Yeah.
What's the breakdown
You may-
or something like that?
So you know what, Kesh, do you want to take it up?
yeah, I'll do it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the modes I make money? So there are a couple of things. One, you make sure you diversify your income. So I have diversified all my streams, like pretty good now. I'm still diversifying even more. So the main would be sponsored deals for my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel gets like 50-60,000 views per video, sometimes 500,000, sometimes a million, something like that, rarely, but I have a pretty deep good audience. So sponsors and brands come to me and they tell me, okay, you know what, put us in a 60-second spot and we'll give you $1,000 or something like that.
Got it. Yeah.
So that is one, and that is one source. So brand deals and integrations and stuff like that. That is one. The YouTube ad revenue. That is another thing. That is sort of it is not. What is that thing?
It's
Uniform?
not standard.
Yeah, it is not standard in the sense it is good, but sometimes it will be very high, sometimes it will be very low. Even I've noticed that even with big YouTubers, who makes quite a lot, and so that is one. YouTube. So YouTube ad revenue. Then the third one would be workshops. I do workshops, like that is one, but I rarely do workshops these days. So the other forms would be, the other one would be freelance work, so the freelance, the work that I'm doing, which is also stopped. So I've stopped doing freelance work. So most of my income right now is coming from brand deals and YouTube ad revenue, and there'll be some periodical 1 or 2 day freelance works which I might take up if it fits into my schedule.
Yes.
And so those
are the major revenue
sources. Yes.
Super.
Yes.
Yeah. So to continue, so that's a whole different ball game altogether of Kesh, because most of I don't have anything to do with YouTube, and which is going to be completely different as an answer. So my revenue is basically and totally it's diversified in art itself, but it's freelancing works again. I get it from freelance and independent commissions. Projects wise, it's going to be in bulk, and which are like when I work on multiple pieces for a company or something like that, and to segregate that into a different independent commission, which is like it adds some peanuts on it, which makes a lot of difference, to be honest. And again, I keep holding workshops. I never thought I'd be holding workshops this often, but well, I am, and
thanks to me.
I was about to say, I know whom to thank. So, well, a mutual thanks anyway.
Yes.
So this is how I generate my revenue.
Super.
And I'm still, I'm
So it's
to be honest, I'm also considering to get into teaching.
Nice. So it's commissions, workshops, and and also
Freelance projects.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aditya.
Wait, before we go into Adi, I have another one,
Yes.
which is in the process, which is courses and
Yeah,
stuff
online
like that.
Courses.
Yeah, that's another.
Yeah.
It's I've planned it to be the next bedrock of my diversification.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Got it. Super. So we have online courses, we have commissions, we have sponsored deals, we have freelancing. Cool. Aditya.
Yeah, I think up until now, most of my income has come from exhibiting at events, because that's how I first started out monetizing my works. So there was like 3 Comic Cons I've done. I've done Queer Carnival. I've done Oktoberfest that happens here in the city, like at the Secunderabad Club. And there was like a 5-day art festival, I think, in like shortly after Comic-Con in 2014, and I was invited to set up for that. And at all of these events, I would go mainly to put my work out there, to sell as much of my work as I could, and also to make contacts. So that's kind of become the norm for me. But I think now I've kind of started stepping more into the freelancing game. Trying to look to take independent commissions or collaborate and work on bigger projects. And I've also been ventured into workshops. And like she said, Gokul, I should be thanking you also. I have a workshop with you guys coming up, right?
Yes.
So
I have a workshop with Madcap
I'm the
coming
workshop
up,
king.
and I've done, and I've also done 2 workshops prior in the city also, and it's been something new for me.
Nice.
But also equally as rewarding, because it's something that I haven't done before.
Super.
So I'm now trying to diversify my income methods, like within the art field. Yeah.
So
I have one more last thing which I
Yes.
forgot. Affiliates. I forgot.
So it's affiliates, sponsored ads,
yeah.
commissions, freelancing, workshops, putting out stalls and selling your prints or ads and stuff.
Products.
And one other thing that I want to add to all this is, if you're really good at what you do, you can actually sell them as products, right? You can go to websites like Etsy or like loads of websites wherein they can sell your design as products, wherein they put it up on, let's say, a t-shirt or a mug or a badge or whatever. You get a commission on or example, a royalty on every product that sells with your particular design, right? That is one way to make money. So there's loads of ways to make money. So you guys will have to figure out which step you guys want to take first and then go ahead with it. I think it's been an amazing conversation, right? I think we
Yes,
talked
it really
numbers.
has.
Yeah.
Very
so I don't
profound.
think we can put any numbers on it.
on this.
See, like I said, right? So okay, if you guys do you guys want to give examples of numbers? Because I don't think you can put a number of things. You have to charge per hour X amount of money.
It's
and
very
stuff.
hard. The thing is,
It's
I don't
very,
know
very
how-
hard because it
Yeah.
depends on the style of
It
an
depends on the
artist.
style. It depends on the work. It depends on the complexity.
and
quality,
also the
everything, yeah.
audience or something like that.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, actually, I've sort of debated on this. Should I share my monthly income report with like people or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm still not. You're ready right now. I know that.
I'm not ready.
He's like Gokul, like yeah, go ahead. I don't know, because I've been watching these videos of people like who are like super transparent artists who are super transparent, right? Because I thought that would be a good sign, but I don't know if I'm ready. But like numbers should be a thing in my stuff.
But I don't know if that actually helps.
No, it does in the sense of it really expanded my horizon on how much I can make. So
Yeah.
I went from like making minuscule amounts of money from like my day job, like I like to a point where I could earn the
$1
money.
million a month.
No, yeah, definitely I'm making $1 million a month, guys. Like everybody knows that.
So yeah. So you telling that getting to know how much people
Make is
make,
good.
it's going to help you understand how much you can charge.
Not the charge. What's the value of the market you're playing in?
Yes. Cool. So I think we've got some amazing content in this whole podcast, right?
Yeah.
Except Sweta, who's just laughing at the back. I know you're hungry, but I'm really sorry. So I think it's been an amazing conversation. So let's. I think it's time for us to wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel still we haven't answered the question of how to make money.
The question of how. So let's put everything in a context.
The answer is always ambiguous. Sometimes.
See, let's put
But
everything
at
into a
least it has
context.
dissolved into something which is solid.
Yes. Let's put it into context, right? So for the first, we talked about if you're being an introvert, how do you go about socialize yourselves, be online, talk to people. You can also do free stuff to start off with, to gain experience, to build relationships,
solve problems,
and be practicing. And also, you've also heard about different modes of revenue streams that as an artist you can earn from all these three artists. So I think with this you guys can build up. The next episode we are planning could probably be live in a couple of weeks max, and we're planning to have a guest.
Who's that?
Yes. The big
Yes.
It's a surprise.
Okay.
We're gonna have a guest. It's going to be a surprise to ourselves because it's going to be a surprise. So,
We're still here to figure it out anyway.
I really didn't want to say that. So
I think we're
Well, I mean, we have
Moving
an
on.
unofficial guest today listening in on this entire
Yeah,
conversation. So
Sweta.
So-
yeah.
So we're gonna have a guest.
Shweta.
We're gonna have a guest next episode, who's gonna be talking about a lot of artsy stuff. And quick sound to Shweta. Shweta, you want to give a quick intro?
Can
on who you
I
are?
breathe? My God. Thank you.
Shweta, give a quick intro about yourself, and before we wrap it up.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sweta, and on Instagram I'm known as Kurozoe. Kurozoe for anyone who cares about that. But I literally just wanted to just breathe. That's all I wanted right now because
Super.
I've been silent for so long.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm also an artist. By the way, I've been drawing the whole time, and I've been putting up placards, like type of things for these guys to see. Halftime.
She's been our empire in third empire.
I was going to tell you guys that it was not pointless, but I sort of
Yes.
I was appreciate the enthusiasm you showed. She drew
Yeah.
this cute little doodles too.
It was so adorable. That little illustration.
You know what? That made me think. I'm gonna contact you to see how we can work together. Okay.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. See,
Super.
networking. You show up to someone else's podcast and you make.
You have this word on the record.
Yeah, I have your word like on record.
On
yeah.
the record.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, these guys couldn't be so. Even I'm an introvert. I'm a massive. I'm actually shy. That's why I haven't been speaking so long. But yeah, they're right about networking. You guys have to, whether you like it or not, you kind of have to. Just suck it
Super.
up.
Cool. So why don't we all talk about who we are? I mean, how do people find us
Yes.
online? So Aditya, you want to start? How do
Adi,
people
go,
find you?
bro.
Who you are?
yes, you can. I'm a freelance charcoal artist based out of Hyderabad, and you can find me and my work on Instagram at the Onyx Method. That's THE_ONYX method.
Shri. The man.
So you can always find my work on Instagram or Facebook with the same name, Sri Priyatham, SRIPRIYATHAM.
And he is an amazing caricature artist.
Artist, yes.
Not only caricatures, but
Yeah.
I would say
He's
so.
an amazing
No,
artist.
no, I'm not
period.
even kidding. You're good. Dude. You're
Very
right there.
amazing.
Right on.
No.
Mind blowing.
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
Keshav.
I gotta give
Yeah.
you guys a lot of things.
You can find
Yeah.
what you can find me at Kesh Art on YouTube or Kesh RT, which is KESHR for Ralph and T for Tiger on Instagram. And those are. Or you can go to my website keshart.in and you can do the 100 Days of Sketching Challenge if you are a beginner artist and wants to get
Yes.
going.
And I am Gokul. You can find me at Gokul Raj GK in any social media platform, but you have to check out madcap.in to know the products, or check out at my copy page on Instagram to know about the really cool workshops that we do. Thanks a lot, guys. So you can find us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, anywhere you're listening this to. Please click on subscribe, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Just go back on the podcast to just check out my Instagram because I'm not going to repeat that. I'm too lazy to do that. So. sorry, Gokul. Sorry,
Oh
Gokul,
my
for
God.
interrupting. Oh, I'm a cartoonist, by the way. I like
Yeah,
cartoons and
you
I
go
like
for that.
anime, and I'm a gamer girl if anybody's impressed by that. But yeah,
I am impressed, man. Damn.
thank you.
We're all impressed by that.
I play COD and Overwatch. That was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
So-
Cut it right there.
Cool. So let's wrap it
Okay,
up.
go ahead.
Wrap it up. Bye,
So
guys.
wait, I still haven't wrapped up.
Oh,
the thing.
yeah, okay.
So thanks a lot for listening, guys. Please subscribe to us in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or even on YouTube, wherever you're listening.
Everywhere.
Click on subscribe. We'll be live with episode 4 in 2 weeks.
Totally.
See you guys soon. And this podcast,
Thanks.
we'll be like this. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.